Welcome back everyone to today's video. We are doing your latest on December and seeing if the cold is still on, like I have been saying in my December forecasts. There's been a lot of wobbling lately, and especially in the 24 hours I've seen plenty of posts saying that the cold December's off, the SSW isn't happening, all sorts of rubbish that just out in the last 24 hours, but there's no need for anyone to be. A wobble for a day isn't going to put the whole month off, and even if it delays it a little bit, the cold, it'll still probably end up happening. But I think people are getting it a little bit, getting a bit panicked, thinking just because the SSW is a little bit weaker, that means we're not going to get any cold now. We don't actually need an SSW for cold in the first place, so I don't really see why everyone's saying that nothing's going to happen now. Right, these are the latest zonal winds in the stratosphere at 10 HPA. Big red line is the average. We are currently well below average now, and we are going to be getting near to the zero line. For a technical SSW, we need it to go below the zero line. Sorry everyone. The reason people are being saying we're not getting as much cold is because of this chart on Tuesday. It was much better. We go way lower and we get a lot of charts going really low down, and that's a proper SSW. But now we've got most of the charts only just briefly getting near zero, then recovering super quick, and that's not going to do it as a proper SSW really, which is a bit disappointing for everyone here. But I just want to say this was like 12 days ago, and this is how it was looking. All over the place, nowhere near an SSW, and then now we're looking like we are going to get an SSW. This was Mondays. I mean, look how much scatter there was at that point, and then now for some reason they're all certain that the SSW is not really going to happen, and we're going to go back stronger again pretty quickly, which is unusual. And people are saying that could favour a more active and stronger polar vortex and make us get more westerly and milder winds off the Atlantic, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think there's still time for this SSW to get more severe, and I wouldn't rule out if this went up there and then went back down again, even though there's no ensembles doing that at the minute. I'm still not ruling it out. Let's have a look at some of the ensembles and the GFS operational for the strat. Here we go. So what we're looking for is an SSW, Southern Stratospheric Warming. Something a bit like this in the background, but it doesn't need to be as severe as that, as it'll be the earliest one ever if this comes off at the minute. So let me show you the operational run. So we've got a warming taking place over the next few days into the end of the month. Maybe reversing the solar winds. I'm not really sure if it will though. By the end we look like that, but we're keeping a warming going even by the 8th of December, just there, and that is going to try and push into the pole eventually, I reckon. Not a crazy warming, but there's a warming there, and that's why I'm not really agreeing with this, because a lot of the charts are doing a second warming around here, and at the minute there's like a one ensemble that's doing it, and that can't be right. So take these ensembles lightly. By the time we get to 8 o'clock tonight, these could all have flipped again, and we're looking at a major SSW, and everyone's shouting about the cold again. But I'm sticking with my December forecast. I don't see why we'd need such a flip in one day. So that are my thoughts. Them are my thoughts. We'll just to see what happens. So we're looking for a secondary warming here, because the first warming is not going to be that severe. So I'm looking for a secondary warming in the extended range. That's ensemble 1. Ensemble 2 looks like this. Bit of a warming starting to take place. 3. Not really doing much. 4. I mean, there's signs of warming, but not much. Number 5. A little bit of a warming there. Number 6. Not really. 7 looks like this. 8. Well, let's go to there, and then I'm just going to scroll through them. So that's 9. A bit of a warming. 10. A bit of a warming. 11. 12. 13. That's a big warming. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, that's a big warming as well, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So based on that, I think a secondary warming is possible, but I'm not going to say anything yet because it's still too far out. What you just see on around the 5th December as well, it looks like there's a chance that we could see a secondary warming starting to take place, and that may push into the pole, but it may not. So I would like these zonal winds to stay lower for longer, to be a proper SSW, than rebound that quick, as it might end up favouring the Atlantic, but I don't think it will. Anyway, this is the latest GFS 6Z midnight run, I mean. So this is how we start off: wet, windy, unsettled off the Atlantic, before we go a bit chilly again into mid next week, before a transient ridge builds over the country, and we go milder and more unsettled again from the west. As we carry on into the extended range, we're into December now. High pressure, wet, windy, unsettled, until we start building a Scandinavian high into the end of the month. Very interesting, and we're setting up a pretty nice easterly wind by the end of the run. High pressure's blocking over Scandinavia, low pressure's troughed in there. Atlantic has been blocked off, and we'll be starting to drag the winds in from the east, I would expect, in the extended range. There you go. There's not that much cold over Europe, so it's not like a beast, but I mean, it could be if you get the -10s in. Winds are starting to drag in from the east by the end. At the minute there, the ensembles are pretty mild. I'm not taking any notice of them though, because they are all over the place and I don't really know what to say about them. There you go. The ensembles are basically all going mild after this period. We drop the temperatures back down again into next week, and then we are mild for the rest of the run, which is pretty unusual. We have got plenty of ensembles going cold at the end. Well, plenty of outliers, let's say, having a go at going cold. Let's have a look at some of them. So we've got ensemble number 7. Let's have a look at that one. See why that one's looking so cold. Ensemble number 7 looks like that at the end. Once again, it's trying to build that Scandinavian high like some of the other models are. We've got ensemble number 18. We'll have a look at that one. That one is once again, it's built that Scandi high and is trying to dragging the winds in from a very cold easterly actually. But there is signs that blocking might be building into the 1st and 2nd week of December. The ensembles cannot get it right that far out and be correct. There's no way that they're going to get that right. Mild for the old time like that is very unusual, and I don't really see charts like that. They're probably all wrong, because just how the atmosphere is at the minute, it's going to be a bit of a weird situation we're in. ECMWF pressure, let's have a look. ECMWF weeklies look like this. Let's take a look. We'll go over the North Pole view so you can see better. Week 1 looks like this. For the 24th of November to the 1st of December, low pressure out in the Atlantic, winds in from the west, more wet, windy and unsettled. Week 2 is the 1st to the 8th of December, high pressure to our east, winds in from the southwest there, not much chance of blocking. 8th to the 15th, northern blocking appearing there, around Scandinavia, winds are in from the south or southeast. 15th to 22nd of November, we're just not quite getting that high pressure as far north, winds are in from the east once again, but nothing wintry. It's just sort of a blocked and chilly doom and gloom type setup. Same with week 4 or 5, whatever which one this is, over Christmas. And finally week 6, we get maybe we're trying to go colder, but the Atlantic's trying to come back in as well. So blocking signals from the ECMWF, but we're just staying a bit dry based on that one. But I'm unsure what's going to happen. I'm not taking any notice of the people who are now going from freezing to freezing cold to now super mild December. That one day of an SSW or an SSW not coming off does not mean the Atlantic is going to be more favoured just because the zonal winds recover quicker or anything like that. So I'm not taking any notice on that. Atlantic oscillation from the GEFS forecast is looking like this. We're coming out of a negative phase just here where we have been cold, and we are going to be into a positive phase, which signifies a higher chance of low pressure around the Arctic and more unsettled weather for us. But it's interesting. By the time we get into the start of December, we look around neutral there at the end of the month. Some are going very positive at the end of the month, and some are going extremely negative. We got one going to like -5, -6, which would be like a new record. But it looks like we're going to try and get the Arctic oscillation negative once again. NAO looks like this once again, pretty similar. Coming out of this negative phase into positive. But by the time we're into December, we've got a lot of ensembles going negative again, which favours us more blocked and colder weather. But still got some saying pretty positive and some going pretty negative. So it's going to be a bit of a 50-50, and we'll just have to see what happens. So anyway, December's going to be an interesting one. I'm not sure what's going to happen yet. But if we do see a strengthening of the SSW, it would help. But that's all from me today. Thanks everyone for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.